Beep, 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 beep. Morning, people. Welcome to the court of the Edijester, as per usual. Listen, can you hear me? If you can hear a lot of noise, it's the fan, because it's bloody 112 degrees in here. Jeez, God almighty, it's so hot. It's about 4 o'clock in the damn morning as well. I thought, I woke up all sweaty, and I thought, it's such a shame when one wakes up sweaty, especially if one's alone. So I thought, ooh. So if you hear a noise, I'm going to try and talk over the noise. I'm doing a touch of the Wuthering Heights, because it's so damned hot. So forgive me. Let's start. Okay. Labour wants to silence criticism of Islam. This is a topical conversation, isn't it, currently? Seeing as we've seen a load of nonsense going on about, whether people should be able to speak about it. You've already seen that I put up a post about this with the ridiculous original notion that came from the rather awful working group on anti-Muslim hatred and Islamophobia. But we've got an article here from Spiked by Freddie Attenborough. I wonder if there's any relation. So, Angela Rayner's secretive working group on Islamophobia has free speech in its crosshairs. This is something we should all be very concerned about. Would you ask, says Freddie, a panel of committed vegans to provide objective, balanced advice on a national dietary policy? Only if you were looking for an entirely biased response, yet this is effectively what the British government is doing on the question of whether the public should be free to criticise Islam. That is why the Free Speech Union, if you're not a member, why, recently wrote to Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner. In particular, the FSU is alarmed about the government's new working group on anti-Muslim hatred and Islamophobia, a miniature Labour quango tasked with articulating an official definition of Islamophobia. It should concern anyone concerned about free speech. That's me, and I imagine you. Chaired by former Conservative MP and Attorney General Dominic Grieve, KC, the working group is marked by secrecy and ideological rigidity. Its terms of reference make clear that the advice it gives to ministers will remain private and unpublished, in direct contravention of the government's own code of conduct. So what we've got here is a group of people who are trying to put together a definition of Islamophobia. They're doing it under the cover of secrecy because they don't want anybody to know about it. That's why you do things secretly. And it's going to impinge on free speech in this country and create a priestly class out of a bloody religion. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. If you're down with that, okay, fine. You really are watching the wrong channel. But if you're down with that, that's fine. And the group's members clearly believe Islamophobia, that is, the criticism of Islam and related practices, represents a unique threat to British society. It is a recipe for censorship. There is also serious concern about the way the group has gone about consulting the public. For example, a recent call for evidence on Islamophobia was launched without notice and only came to light after being leaked. Unsurprisingly, the consultation was skewed towards a predetermined outcome. In this case, a definition mirroring that which the all-party parliamentary group, the APPG, on British Muslims cooked up in 2018. This defined Islamophobia as rooted in racism and targeting expressions of Muslimness or perceived Muslimness. It isn't hard to see where the working group is going. It's no surprise that, unsurprisingly, the consultation provided no invitation for those concerned about how a government-sponsored definition of Islamophobia might impact free speech. Groups such as Christian Concern, Don't Divide Us Now, the Council of Ex-Muslims of Britain, and the Oxford Institute for British Islam, among many others, were all ignored by the working group. You might think that conduct like this points to a distinct lack of objectivity on the part of the working group. Do you think? Really? Oh, gosh. Oh, I'm so surprised. Right, ideological nitwits don't have objective views. Where have we seen that before? Come on, you lot. First prize, you can send me a £50 Amazon voucher. Where have we seen that before? And it continues, dig a little deeper, and that is exactly what you will find. Of the 5 members whose names are publicly known, most have either endorsed the APPG definition or made statements closely aligned with its assumptions. Grieve, for instance, this is Dominic Grieve, was directly involved in the APPG's 2018 report, authoring the foreword. He described it as an important contribution to the debate as to how Islamophobia can best be addressed. You know how you best address Islamophobia? You don't. It's that simple. Good God Almighty. No religion is beyond criticism. You understand? No, no, no. Absolutely not. No. Mm-mm. Another group member, Akila Ahmed, who co-chairs the British Muslim Network, was cited in the same report calling for a definition with legal power that could be implemented by the government and the police. Can you see what this is yet? Most alarming is the presence of Baroness Gohar among the working group's members. Not only has she publicly endorsed the APPG's definition, she has authored a report linking Islamophobia to the media reporting on the grooming gang scandals. Can you see what it is yet? Who used to say that? Oh, that perv, wasn't it? What was his name? Rolf Harris. Can you see what it is yet? The disproportionate media coverage being given to British Pakistani offenders, she argued, in 2013, enabled right-wing populist groups to exploit the issue to fuel racism and Islamophobia. This is where it all comes from, isn't it? This idea that if you're concerned about a particular cultural manifestation of a problem, that you are a racist. And this person's got access to government. Hello? Right? What could possibly go wrong? The attempt to recast criticism of Islamic beliefs and practices as a form of racial hostility raises the stakes considerably. Why? Because British law currently makes a clear distinction between the two. What is known as the Waddington Amendment of the Public Order Act 1986 explicitly protects the right to criticise religion. It states that nothing in this part should be interpreted as prohibiting discussion, criticism, or expression of antipathy, dislike, ridicule, insult, or abuse of particular religions or the beliefs or practices of their adherents. Adopting the APG definition, and it's hard to see the working group coming up with something radically different, would have a chilling effect on free speech. It would deter people from raising legitimate concerns about Islamist extremism, grooming gangs, even immigration, for fear they would be deemed racist. Its effect would be a modern-day blasphemy law, dressed up in the language of policing hate speech. Worse still, this is being developed behind closed doors based on evidence gathered from a gerrymandered list of respondents in a process overseen by an entirely unelected body. Under Labour, the UK has enough problems as it is. The last thing we need is for blasphemy laws to be smuggled onto the statute books without any of us realising. This is deeply serious, people. Deeply serious. At this point, I just want them out. At this point, the left, who I no longer recognise, and I imagine there's many of you out there that don't recognise it either, just need to go. Because everything they do is an indicator that they have no place in 2025, and they are in fact a relic from the 20th century, and they should be buried in that century. I think they're done. Utterly, utterly appalling. But you never know what will happen with an election, do you? Next election's a few years down the line, so there'll be another election, and people will still vote for these people. They'll still vote for them because they don't understand what they are. Most of us, on the other hand, do. Equity kills. Don't forget it. The protection of religion through speech kills. Politicised religion, the nature of that, kills. Just end it all, because I can't be bothered with it. Load of bloody rubbish. Go on, go and upset some religious fruitcake. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.